Aloha everyone! This is our presentation on the short story we picked, Mama Toro. The author of Mama Toro, who was the original author of Mama Toro? Well, we actually do not know who it is at all because it was written over like 1,000 years ago. And so it has been changed through the generations, and people like will make it kind of their own. And so there are many just different assumptions and just little differences in the story. But we decided to make Xavier Pirata the author because he is the one, like his version of the story is the one that we read in class. So who is Xavier Pirata, you might ask? Well, he was born in England. He was born in England, and which is in London. And he grew up loving literature. He would read C.S. Lewis's books, and they inspired him to become an author. Our version comes from the Giant Book of Giants, which is just a story, a book that is composed of a bunch of different giant short stories that he put together. The characters of the story, there are 4 main characters. The first main character is Mama Toro, shown here by Kylin. And Mama Toro is the peach boy. Mama means peach, and Toro is a common Japanese word for boys, like in Japan. And so he's the peach boy because he's born from a peach. The next character, the first one he meets on the journey, is the monkey, which is shown here by Takeyoshi. And the monkey symbolizes intelligence. After he meets the monkey, Mama Toro meets the dog, which is shown here by Misurina, and the dog represents obedience. The last main character is the pheasant, shown here by Gutierrez. The pheasant represents courage, and the secondary characters of the story are the giants, which are shown here, and Mama Toro's parents, so the woodcutter and his wife. The summary of the story. So the version of the story that we read starts out with an old childless woman going down to wash her clothes at the river, and she finds a peach, and inside the peach is a little baby boy, and her and her husband raise the child, and he lives in the village, and the village is attacked by giants, which take a lot of their belongings, and Mama Toro decided to be courageous and go to giants, but he couldn't have done it on his own, and so he invites his friends, the monkey, the dog, and the pheasant, to help him attack them, and in the end they end up winning and saving their town. Now, why do you guys like Mama Toro? Well, there are a lot of reasons why we picked Mama Toro to be the story we discussed. The reason I like it is because it is about facing our fears. It shows that we can face our fears even if they're big giants, and we do not have to do it on our own. We can have the help of our family and our friends, just like in the story Mama Toro.
Hi, this is Takeyoshi Nitta, and I'm going to tell you why I like this story. So that story is actually very famous in my country, Japan, and I really like Momotaro because I can learn from that story what I need to solve the big problems that occurs in my life.
Hello, this is Kevin. The reason why I like this story is because Momotaro is a good example of a leader. I liked how he assigned his teammates to different tasks to make the mission successful. Since I'm the leader of the group, I think I should be more like Momotaro and to know my team members well and help them to succeed.
And lastly, I am Jarius. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather right now, so apologies for my voice, but the reason why I like the story is because it shows us what being courageous really means. So if you read the story, Momotaro's height was nothing compared to the giants. He's really small, and his friends who help him fight the giants weren't even the strongest or the fiercest and the scariest among the animals in the jungle. But because they were courageous and they were united, they were able to defeat the giants.
Perfect. The elements of literature that we saw in the story, there was many. The theme of the story was that we can overcome trials with the help of others. The next element of literature that we saw was repetition, and that each time an animal joined Momotaro, he offered them a dumpling, and that happened for all four of them. The next element is literature, and that is shown in the peach, symbolism, which is shown in the peach. And the peach symbolizes rejuvenation, that is like youth. And so in some of the original stories of Momotaro, the elderly couple eats peaches, and that rejuvenates them or allows them to become younger, and they are able to have a child, and they name that child Momotaro in honor of the peaches that made them younger. The other symbolism in the story is the dumplings. The dumplings represent trustworthiness and unity, and so when Momotaro offered them to each of his friends, he was showing that he trusted his friends and that they would be united and able to defeat the giants. The tone of the story starts out pretty happy because the elderly couple is able to have the baby, but then changes to a little bit fearful when the giants attack the village. But in the end, it ends up being courageous because they are able to defeat the giants. That is all of our presentation. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to answer our discussion questions below.